I really enjoy, I guess I like both the woo and the scientific pieces of it. I want to know why it works.
Episode number 9?
8.
8. Today's 8. So we've hit the 2-month mark, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. So yeah, tapping into, raw energy and how this whole thing, kind of came about, talking about energy. I figured, whoever has joined us so far or whoever joins us in the future has gotten to know a little bit about us. So I think if we, for our audience, can dive into a little bit of our own paths and kind of how they align, and stuff like that, I thought it would be a good time to start talking about what I believe to be true. And some people might not believe in this kind of stuff, which is fine. This is the podcast for them and they can be on their way. But chakras are, obviously it's nothing that you can see. It's nothing you can test for. There's no like x-rays or MRIs or anything like that. But just figured we could start with just a simple explanation as to kind of what chakras are today. And then just continue talking about whatever tickles our fancy, and then, talk about, the different ones as they go and blah, 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 like just as we move forward, because it does relate to raw energy and how we function. I mean, we're biological beings, but we also have energy. So, and then, yeah, I won't go off in a tangent. Let's stick to chakras. So there's seven chakras, right? And it's they're wheels and they're a cycle. And if people can think of like a line going from your tailbone to the crown of your head, and each chakra is like a spinning cog. So one could be spinning clockwise. That means the other one is counterclockwise. So they're spinning in opposite of the one. Oh, look at, and I can do it with my hands. My right and left brain working today. So it's essentially like a pipeline of energy from the crown of your head all the way to your tailbone. And it's obviously it's invisible energy, like I said. And the move is called prana. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's a metaphysical energy that keeps us healthy and alive. So if you believe in the energy force of chakras, then you believe that this energy keeps us healthy, keeps us alive. Yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Colleen. I want to piggyback on that, right?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I want to just drop it like just one piece slower, right? Like I love everything that you said, like the wheels, because that's exactly how I picture, right? It's just a wheel. But where your chakras line up, like they're your nerve endings or landings, right? Where those receptors are, where there's other like stress, hormone, and then there's another, and I'm sorry guys, I'm not the doctor or anything like that. I've just done a lot of research this way because I wanted to understand more, right? But there's another chemical inside of your brain or a chemical inside of your body that your body really relies on that these chakra points line up to, right? So it's not just like I don't want people to think that, I guess I'm trying to remove the woo. You know what I mean?
Because don't try to remove the woo.
There's
go with what you believe.
There's so much scientific pieces to it, right? Like how you said from your head down through your tailbone. Think about all of the nerve endings that run through your body, just up your spine, through your neck, that connect inside your brain, right? And if for those of you that are still questioning, well, I know we're biological human beings, right? I know anatomy, but how do we have energy in our bodies? What's your heart move on, right? That's why when your pulse stops, they shock you. They send an electric current through your body. It's energy that moves that, right? And the reason I say that, Colleen, is just some of this helped me kind of grasp some of this so I could make sense of it. That way I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Because like as we dive deeper, like how Colleen said those cogs moved, like mine weren't moving. And I didn't know why. Because I couldn't grasp how do I have these invisible wheels of energy in my body that that I haven't heard of before. You know what I mean? Nobody has brought this up like anywhere else. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do I grasp that? So that's why I went that step closer or that step deeper. It helped me understand it because then I was like, oh, wait a second. Now I can figure out how the cog can move. Do you know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah, no, and again, this is something that people believe in. It's kind of like faith. You believe it's your faith. You believe in it. So if you do believe in this alternative way of thinking about our bodies, in addition to what we can touch, what we can x-ray, what we can all that. So the chakras are related to our five senses, and they sense and measure our surroundings around us, the elements, and they bring balance to our body with their interaction with our body, with our five senses. And, it's almost like, you hear a lot of people say like, oh, I just got this feeling. That is your chakras. Those are your chakras that are sensing something within your body that is reacting to something outside of your body. And again, you can use them as triggers. Like you can put whatever label on it that you want, but we're designed to respond to the world around us. That's why we have five senses. That's why, a certain smell could remind you of something pleasant or unpleasant. Seeing something, same thing. Tasting something, same thing. Hearing something, feeling something, like all of that stuff triggers our memory to remind us of a good time, bad time, indifferent time, whatever it might be. But that is that pipeline that's always running in the background, again, opposite direction as you go down or as you go up, whichever way you want to look at it. And the chakras, they can alert us and be part of our survival system, which is, a lot of people are familiar with the fight or flight. So again, your fight or flight is activated by your five senses. Your fight or flight can't always be trusted though, because if you're someone who's been diagnosed with anxiety, you have this is how I describe it, you have a broken internal alarm system, meaning your fight or flight is always telling you you're in danger. So when that is happening, your chakras are spinning, and your body, your whole entire central nervous system is telling you that you are in some sort of danger and it wants you to flee. And if you get into the realm of the chakras and raw energy and what that means within our body, you'll hear people talk about things like, oh, I just need to cleanse my chakras and get them back into balance because they're out of balance. And we'll get into more of that stuff in many later episodes, but just wanted to give everyone just a basic understanding of what the seven chakras are, and we'll go into each one throughout the times of this podcast. Might not be every single episode that we talk about chakras. It depends on what happens in our lives, what aha moments we have, what shower epiphanies that we might have, or whatever. But I thought it was pretty relevant to when I had created those 4 days of the somatic energy healing. I continue to, sorry, I have little mold mites or whatever they're called, and they fly up my nose.
I hate that for you.
Oh, they're from my plants. They're almost gone. But they'll fly around here, and then I know, shoot, they go right up my nose. So annoying, but they're almost gone, thankfully. So, people are still telling me that they're still using what we went through in those 4 days, so and I would say, like, the 4 days was the 4 days. We didn't dive deep, deep, deep into chakra rebalancing. It was 4 days of introducing them, reconnecting with their body and their mind, which has in turn realigned their chakras, so to speak. I didn't use that language with them. But, and that, can be connected to trusting, either discovering or relearning to trust in your 5 senses. And that takes a lot of work as far as insight as to what really is going on, because when your chakras are out of balance, when you're in fight or flight, you just want to run, run, run. You want to escape. You want to get up and clean your house. You want to go shopping. You want to get on the phone and talk to someone. You want to blast the radio. You want to dance. You want to go out with a friend. Like, you want to escape. And not to say that doing all of that stuff can't be healthy, because, right? I mean, a clean house is a clean house, right? Hanging out with friends is a good thing. There goes a nose diver. Going out and doing fun things, creates happy things in your brain and all that stuff. But when it's used as an escape, it's an imbalance within your body. And having that realigned means that pipeline from your crown to your tailbone, from your tailbone to your crown, is all working for you. And it brings a sense of contentment so that you can sit down and read that book. You can sit down and listen to that audiobook. You can sit down and play that game with your children. You can go for a walk and, I don't know, remember the walk you went on versus calculating the 72,000 things you need to do when you get home that are really quite irrelevant to even be thinking about or to use your brain energy. And I wish I had written this down for today. I came across, I think I sent it. I'm not sure if I sent it to you or not, but I came across on my FYP for TikTok. I love TikTok. Built a business using TikTok a couple of years ago. So, it's a platform I believe in. And I don't spend a lot of time during the day on it, maybe 20 minutes at most. But I came across a guy who explained something in a way that spoke directly to me. And I've always appreciated when my intuitive knowledge is backed up by science, because it's just something that I intuitively believe in through whatever. But then when someone tells me there's been like studies or blah, 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 right? Or scientific tests or, case studies or whatever it might be. For me, it's always been really validating. 1, for me personally, and 2, for me professionally. Because I don't do a lot of guru kind of stuff. Like, I don't mean this like in a cocky way. Like, I don't read a lot of books for my specific craft beyond like needing maybe to know something, or I'd rather do trainings, that are people talking. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on chakras? Did I miss anything?
In the middle of a thought, Colleen.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. So
I was so intrigued. I was like into it. I told you last week. Tell me a story, girl.
I don't want to squirrel off. I want to stay focused on just the basic basic knowledge, basic description of the seven chakras and what they basically mean in the body.
Gotcha. No, I completely agree with you. And exactly, right. Like I don't mean to take the woo out of it, because there has to be a belief, right? Like, and I agree with you. You know, if there's a question, then look into it, of course, by any means. Like if you question anything, do your research. You know, the only thing you're going to come out with is more wisdom. That's it. But at the same time, yes, like I love, that's why I was like, I had to understand it. I had to make sense of it. And I love it when science can back stuff up. You know, I just like Colleen, like the deeper that I get into like narrowing that path for myself, right? Like what I want to do with that area, the more I just kind of let that gift just go. You know, I'm just like, okay, you know, because my intuition's like, you got this, like, you know, like I told you. I think I sent that to you in the message. You know, it's like I'm not up to date on like the whole chakra piece, but like what I can say is, you know, if your hips hurt, you're too worried about safety. Okay. If your head hurts, a lot of times that's just from lived experience and like multiple conversations and a few different books. Shit. What did I say? Your head
hurts.
Yeah. When your head hurts, a lot of times you're questioning like that worth, your ability, your capability, just in my experience. Colleen, I don't know if you've had any thing different, but like that is how I view chakras. It gives you a base point and not it's all broken to bits, right? Because I very much was that person. Like it's all broken to bits. I don't even fucking know. But like when you start it, or when you can narrow down to, okay, well, this is the first thing, right? It gives you an area to work on, you know, and just like Colleen said, when all of those cogs and when all of those centers of energy are open and moving, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're aligned, right? Because there could be a lot of people can be open and moving, right? But they can be doing something they still don't like, and they just not notice it yet.
Yeah.
You know? So, but given that ability to kind of hone in on, okay, well, this is really what's bothering me, it gives you an ability to kind of take it piece by piece, piece by piece, but then kind of like hone in on where the specific issues are, so you can get one section moving versus trying to tackle the entire map at one piece. Like that is what I've really enjoyed about it. I really enjoy, I guess I like both the woo and the scientific pieces of it. I want to know why it works. Like I love the whole, you know, I love the whole language of it. I love the whole belief of it, but at the same time, like I want to know how it all works, right? So that's kind of where I've focused my intention when it comes to chakras, is understanding, well, where are these pieces, or where are these energies? First, second, what makes them tick, or the triggers? You know, what do they feel like? How do you break them? And then how do you not fix them, but restore? That's a better word. But no, like I said, that's just I really enjoy that piece of it, because when I realized, once I've taken it from that like 30,000 foot overview of like, these are your seven chakras, these are where they're located, versus how does this energy flow? It's on the counter somewhere. How the energy flows, because like you said, you know, I've heard mixed opinions of them turning the same direction. I've heard mixed opinions on they're only supposed to turn one direction. And when they're different directions, you're off kilter. But I disagree personally for that with my own lived experience on that we can definitely dive into later, or the next couple of episodes. But I mean, I think it's really all about like understanding your own pieces, how they tick, the science and soul behind them in order to restore them. Right. I think that's why I really like I love how people are coming back to the 4-day piece with it. Because really in that, like you're showing them what those are, you know, like you're guiding them to that. Maybe not all of them, like I said, but like one of them or a specific few, you know, because you're letting them sit with them, you're slowing them down, right? And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's the beauty of understanding and acknowledging, wait a second, what is this? No matter, like you said, no matter what language or title or label you put it under, it's all basically the same thing, you know?
Yep. One of my favorite things to do when I'm working with people is, if they are open to it, is to reframe what it is that they just said to me and watch them be like, wow, you know, like watch them make a different connection.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when we had done the midline work during the 4 days, watching people discover like were the majority of their decisions, you know, head decisions, heart decisions, or gut decisions, or like, was there a direct conflict between logic, emotion, gut, instinct? You know, I mean, how many times have any, you, Demi, or any of our audience listening today, like, how many times have you heard, I should have listened to my gut? I should have listened to my gut. Should have listened to my gut, right? Like we know. And I don't think, in my experience with people who don't have the confidence or the insight, don't listen to their gut because they don't trust it, because they don't trust themselves, because they don't have the confidence within themselves, whether it was because it wasn't, that inner confidence wasn't nurtured, somebody shook that confidence, something shook that confidence. And, you know, here's an example of that confidence that, you know, say you're driving and your tire blows and you lose control of your car and you hit a telephone pole, right? Now your confidence as a driver has been shook. Everybody is going to respond to that a little differently. Some people might be like, well, it was the blown tires fault, like it's nothing that I did wrong, which is true. And they might not be impacted by that at all. They might get in the car with a fixed car, new car, whatever, and then just drive. Other people might never be able to drive again, and then everything in between. And that's fascinating to me, because you can't attach one singular thing and apply it to everyone, because there's just so many variations. Like a long time ago, probably probably 18 years ago, I would say 18, 19 years ago, I was driving my kids to school and going through a 4-way stop. So there were 3 or 4 cars. I don't really know. And I was going straight through the 4-way stop. So I was stopped. Somebody went, and it was my turn to go. And I got pretty much almost all the way through the 4-way stop. And the lady on my right drove into my car. She was completely stopped. So it's not like she drove through the stop sign. She decided to start driving when my car was still blocking the intersections because she hit the very back end of my car. Now, I don't know if it was like just a misjudgment in spatial awareness on her part, like whatever. Not much damage was done. The car was still drivable. You know, the kids weren't even, my daughter remembers it. She was the older one. But my son doesn't remember it. He was too little. But to this day, when I go through a 4-way stop, I do not like a person on the right of me to be there. Because of that, one time when I got hit I got hit on the right twice, but the second time the car got totaled. But the first time it was just the very back end. I do not like a car to be, and I most oftentimes will let that car go. Not always, but so still like that is still a trigger for me. That is just an automatic thing that my body remembers, and it's not triggered by anything that's happening right now. It's literally muscle memory.
Yep.
I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I did. So
no, I think it's a brilliant example, because I could even use a very similar but different for me, right? So when I was a sophomore in high school, I was driving behind. I was 16, so I had my license. I was driving, and in front of me, my cousin he was driving in front of me, and he went to pass a slower car, which, mind you, they're going 35. It's 55. He had the right of way, dotted line. But in a minute, Waylon, I'll be with you in a second. When he looked, like, everything looked clear, right? But when he went left to center to pass this car, another car came flying and hit him head on. Like, to this day, Colleen, I still won't pass a vehicle. And now, I'll be, like, I'm okay if my husband does it, or someone else does it, but I will gladly sit there and I'll grip the bottom of the seat and close my eyes, because I will never forget that feeling. Like, I myself was just gripping,
yeah,
like, he wasn't, he sped up to go around the car specifically. He wasn't flying anything, so I get that, right? Like that, I think that's a prime example of how we all individually differ because of what our life journey has been, right? And without understanding what that experience, right, whether it's good, bad, happy, indifferent, whatever the fuck it is, understanding how that experience can play a role both in your heart, in your mind, I don't know what, this is your mind. I know, guys, I promise. I know this is my head, this is my shoulders, my knees. I promise. But like, what's different, or how it hooks, and how that, like, perspective can change from your mind, your heart, your body, and how you can literally block your intention or intuition. And if you ask me, your intuition is your life guideline. It's not there for a reason.
It's our inner compass.
Exactly. It's there for a solid reason. It's not just there to, like, tell you to slam on your brakes because the car in front of you is slamming on theirs. It's not there just because get up because your kid went underwater in the bathtub. It's not there just for those reasons. It's there to help guide you along the journey. But without you being able to understand those different connections, how they can all flow together, how those blocks can really, like, block up, and have you ignoring that lifeline. I totally forgot this train of thought I had, but, like, without that, honestly, like, I ask myself this question on a daily basis, but it's like, how the hell did you walk through life? And what's funny, Colleen, is I really don't remember that period. Like, I remember the last couple of years, but I don't remember the last couple of years. You know what I mean? It's almost like an autopilot mode. That makes sense.
Oh, that's what it was. That's the tangent I went off on earlier. The guy that I found on TikTok that explained.
I'm glad I went there then.
Yep. And I'll share it I'll go back because I did save. So I saved his channel as a saved, so I remember who I'm talking about when I looked at my saved things. Although I have like 2,000 saved videos. Most of them are recipes though. I really am a recipe hoarder, and I really need to stop. I really need to stop hoarding recipes because it's like out of control. I have I have a tote full of recipe books, not a big tote, but a small tote. I have another like large canvas grocery shopping bag of books of all recipes. I have 2,300 saved TikTok videos that I guarantee you the majority of them are all recipes.
My word, Colleen.
So what I started, which is stupid, complete waste of time, right? Well, some of them are also, I would say, recipes and skincare, like tutorials and ideas because of my skincare business. I would say those two things. A small percentage of them are like places to visit. And in order for me to not waste time, what I really should do as soon as I save them is I should put them into little folders on TikTok that I have already set up, places to go, recipes, but I don't. So I will write down what I want to talk about for next time, and how I think about it, and then how he worded it, because that's right. It goes directly in alignment with when I work with people, when I can reframe what they said to me, because I hear a lot of what they're not telling me, and it helps really get in there super fast, and go right for the jugular, which is what I like to do. Go right for the jugular. Just get right in there, get the hard work going. I don't need 16 different appointments for you to tell me about birth to age 5. Like, just give me the overview and like, let's get at it, right? Super solution focused, always has been. So yeah, I love it when other people, so that he was basically reframing what I know about myself without even knowing me, which is, I love when that happens. So cool. And it just because his page come across my FYP.
So, maybe you and I will have to talk in between episodes, because I think that I have something that could align really cool with what you just said, with an experience that I had last night. But it's something that I've been very nervous to share with this channel. I've shared it with you because I know that you have these gifts as well. But I'm nervous because I don't share them lightly. I've been mocked too many times. I'm just like, damn it, I don't want to be mocked anymore. You know what I mean? But I had a really cool experience of basically what you just said. Only instead of hearing what they don't say, like this. God dang it, Colleen. This is why I'm so good at asking questions, because that's what I was told last night. They're like, you're asking such a pinpoint question. Like, now I see it. Now it makes sense. So, yeah, I love that. And I had to refrain a couple times too, because I'm like, nah, you're lying.
Maybe you should write a book.
Oh, God. Maybe. We'll
All right, I gotta go get some lunch.
Oh.